All right, guys. So, as you know, 2020 is basically coming to an end within a couple of weeks here, and there's a lot of rumors and big news dropping. So, some of that is obviously, as you know, Panasonic is slated to return back to the US, according to some rumors out there. So, if that holds true, that'll be great for everybody who's requesting I do Panasonic TV reviews. Though, honestly, I kind of have a little chip on my shoulder towards Panasonic because I feel like they could have just been offering their services to the US this entire time and literally chose not to, which is so jaded. Like, why couldn't you just give the US customers the TV? But if they rectify that in 2020 and release an actual full lineup, then that'll be good for consumers as more options leads to a more competitive market. And then there's LG over there with their new implementations of 1000 nit OLEDs that's going to no doubt carry over into all the other manufacturers. So, I mean, what does that really do to the market? What could we really see? Could we see Sony OLEDs, Panasonic OLEDs, and, even Vizio when they come out with their next OLED? Are all these OLEDs going to be capable of doing 1000 nits? But what happens if the price point goes up because of that? That then kind of puts you a little further back. But what if they stay the same or they stay competitive? I don't know, but I do know that they are trying to target larger screen sizes. So I feel like there's a massive disconnect with these executives trying to make these televisions. They think everybody wants a 78-inch television, 80-inch television. And the reality is I see so much popularity around the 48-inch freaking LG C10 just simply because it's a good size that can fit on a desk. And I feel like if they targeted smaller sizes, that would lead to a much, much, much more exciting market than always just trying to go for the most expensive, largest display out there. So we'll have to see what that kind of turns out to be. But one of the other concerns that I have with any manufacturer of OLED going to 1000 nits is we haven't solved the burn-in problem, right? It's still a risk, and there is no OLED manufacturer that has come out and said, hey, listen, this is no longer a risk. We've got it down. So until they say that, doing things like going up to 1000 nits is kind of really risky when you have gamers being marketed to directly to say, hey, this is the gaming TV of your dreams, which no doubt that'll play a role. And somehow into the marketing, they're going to say, hey, not only are we OLED, which again, perfect pixels, yada, yada, but then also we're 1000 nits. And I think that's going to lead to some more burn-in problems, I think, as people start really gaming for longer sessions because now they have this LED level of brightness. I think that's going to be a problem. Also, if LG doesn't refine their algorithm where they're doing global brightening just to be bright, which leads to flat-looking pictures sometimes when you get to the higher levels of brightness, more diluted color because they're using WRGB panels. So are they still using WRGB panels, or have they stopped using that? Because that would really make a huge difference in the OLED implementation. Another thing that would be a huge problem is advertising 1000 nit OLEDs, but then you have ABL kick on anytime there's full screen brightness, so then you're down to 100 nits. So the only time you ever see the 1000 nits are in darker scenes or in very select moments. So now it's kind of picking and choosing when you have the 1000 nits, which I don't know, that kind of is a bit of a double-edged sword there. Some people won't mind, some people will. And then it'll just turn into what we have on the market right now, where it's kind of like pick your poison. Then there's also the micro LED conversations. I mean, those are looking to try to make OLED completely irrelevant within a couple of years. So do you buy one of these 1000 nit OLEDs now and have your mind blown and razzle-dazzled by the next marketing terms out there? Or do you wait for micro LED and see what breakthroughs that they've made? Because you hear Samsung and Sony talking about these magical breakthroughs in the technology, but I wonder what that means. Does that mean you found a way to make it cost effective? Does that mean you found a way to bring it to the actual consumer market instead of people who have $150,000 to throw around? These are a lot of questions that are happening in the AV space, and I want to have these kind of conversations with you guys because, with all this stuff happening, you're at a critical point now in 2020 where we're about to be into 2021 next month, and you now have to decide, do I buy this TV when it goes on sale, even though it's a 2020 model, or do I take the chance of missing out on that sale to try to hope what they have next year will be so much better and will blow my mind? I mean, these are the questions you are now faced with. Personally speaking, I think what we're seeing in 2021 and in the TV market in 2021 is so exciting because even the Chinese brands are looking to take over the budget aspect of television marketing. I mean, you're hearing things like, both TCL and the H9 series from Hisense are going to be not only 4K, but 4K 120 support, so HDMI 2.1 support, the whole lineup I hear for the higher end TVs. So I'd imagine the TCL 6 series, Maybe the TCL 5 series, Hisense H8, or the Hisense H9 line as well. I hear that those might get that little increase. But then also, I mean, like, what other refinements will we see? Because if they do, the same exact picture quality we got last year just with HDMI 2.1, with maybe like 10 more zones of local dimming, that's going to be kind of like a diminishing return. I hope they kind of fix that. But even still, though, if they target similar price points, then now you're going to have even more of a competitive market, because now there are more HDMI 2.1 options out there. And like, again, I'm hearing that Hisense is going to step up to having the ALLM. They're going to have the VRR functionality as well. I don't know if this is true or not, but I mean, this is exciting stuff to hear. And I think one of the biggest things that anyone could be excited about as a consumer is more options. And that's really what the conversation is sounding like in 2021. You're just going to have more options than what we got in 2020, where they just didn't try, dude. Like, they didn't show up for us at all as consumers. So hopefully that changes. But either way, I really want to hear what you guys have to say. And if you've got any leaks or any rumors, because I know you guys have heard some juicy stuff out there, right? Share the goods. Let's talk about it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty and keeping it real. And again, these are just my personal thoughts and feelings about all the news that is breaking out, and there'll be more news to come out. But again, these are just my personal feelings and thoughts as things happen, and concerns as well. And I want to hear yours as well, or maybe lack thereof. Maybe you're excited and you have a reason to, just let me know, like, hey, maybe you're wrong about this. Maybe there won't be any risks involved or whatever. I don't know. Let's have a conversation down below. Till the next video, I'll see you guys later.